Hello, this is David Collister with Time to Remember, and today we meet a very senior citizen whose lifelong hobby has been golf, starting at the Fort Anne course when he was 12 years old, but later becoming a stalwart of the Douglas Golf Club. He's James Henry Clarke, though he's known to everyone as Nobby Clarke, and I spoke to him just a few days after his 90th birthday.
My first memory as a young boy was going to Chinley Street School. I lived in Chinley Street, and Miss Moore was the head teacher, and Miss Gill was my teacher, and I was her pet.
You were a pet?
Pupil.
Yeah.
Why, I don't know, but anyhow, I was one of them. And the memory I've got there, alongside of Chinley Street School, is the murder in Murder Lane, as they call it, when the woman was murdered in the little farm yard alongside the lane. But the murder was never solved.
And what happened then? Was she was battered, was she?
She must have been battered because the bar was found at the back door in the lane, in the back of Chinley Street, outside our back door.
Murders would be practically unknown to you then.
Well, they were then, but now they're getting very plentiful. But at them days, there wasn't. But they used to have a police guide then, a book to come out, the police magazine more or less, and to give you all that happened. Well, the other one that happened, you see, because I can remember, was Brooks. Yeah. This was Mrs. Brooks getting battered in Ramsey by one of the mental patients that broke out. Well, that was another one. I don't think that was solved more or less. Was there a murder on the golf course? Yeah, well, not actually a murder. He shot a couple. One inspector of the police. He was on Lace, I think it was, and he was up there and he seen a couple, and he fired at them, and he thought they were out hunting or something, because it was illegal to go on the golf links, like. Yes. And it was a wonderful scenery, the golf links, for people to go up, because it was run along the Marine Drive, right, which was a shame that the Marine Drive was ever closed, because that's where the golf links run. What happened with that then? I mean, he wasn't shooting to aim at the people? No, it just more or less a mistake, I suppose. Yeah. As far as I knew, like, and. Because this was still only a kid, really, was it? Oh yes, we were only young then, like. Was Murder Lane something that frightened you then, was it? Well, it didn't frighten us really, because once it was done, he wouldn't come back. No. And they never found the murderer. No. They had suspicions, like, of who done it, and yeah, I wouldn't like to involve like what they were saying, who they thought done it. Right. In them days. People all around would be questioned. But they were questioned. You see, my father was questioned because he was sheep tipping up on the head, and they would question everybody around about. But they weren't so quick to get anybody in them days. But they're a bit quicker now, you know, to get the murders. Yeah. And there's more murders now than ever. That's true. Oh, I can't think of any. You see, you can go back dozens of them. Yeah. You can't count them in one hand now. No. There's the golden egg and all that. All these murders, the latest one you see, double, not one, two doubles. Yeah. And that's for the promenade. Well, I would never go down the promenade. What was the town like when you were a youngster then? Oh, the town was flourishing everywhere. There was none of these nightclubs that we've got now. The Hawaiian bar and all them not. The pubs were pubs. Everybody was singing in them. They would sing songs. You could get up and sing in the pubs like that. Was there trouble after the closing time? Oh, very, very little trouble with the fellas. They enjoyed themselves. Because the hours were on then. Pubs were shut. Yes. They weren't open on Sunday. No. And then on a Sunday you used to have to go out with your club, and you'd book Good Friday, you see, when they were shut, or Sunday. And you would go out on the coach, and you'd have a barrel of beer or something in the back of the coach, and the coach would go out, you see, and the visitors would be given an odd pint from you on the road. When we were going out on the corner, you'd finish at Peel or Castletown, whatever you were to have a lunch. Yeah. And that was the days when the pubs were closed, you see, on a Sunday. 10 o'clock they were closed, you see, not like that, and they were shut. And so no booze on a Sunday at all whatsoever. No. And they fought like hell to get them open on a Sunday. Took a long time. Took a very, very long time, but nevertheless, at the moment now, every place, club and everything, they just let them go free.
Yeah. Is that better or not?
Well, I don't know really myself. If the people have got to enjoy themselves somewhere, you see. If they've got it away, why can't we have it here?
Yeah.
That's the trouble.
Right.
Now, we have it here in a golf club, and parties and different things like that, and everything is on at 12 o'clock comes, that's it.
Mm.
But if the fella wants to take you much, he doesn't go out, he's just got to get a taxi.
Yes.
Michael won't see that he goes out drunk. Because they're getting that way now, it's trying to blame the publican for allowing the fella to get too much drink, and they're accusing the publican of allowing him to get drunk in his pub, which I think is wrong.
Now, what was your first job then when you left school?
Up in the golf links.
Could be on the golf links.
On the golf links, 1928.
Golf has been your life, as we'll find out.
More or less.
Yeah.
I was caddying first at 12 when I was 12 up there.
Caddying at Fort Anne.
That's where I went to caddy with all the Cowan boys and Ski Cowan, Aki Cowan and all them. Alfie Duggan was up.
Yeah.
And Copper Neal, Jerry Neal, and quite a crowd of caddies. They were all good golfers, mind you. And then you enjoyed the Sunday when you got the Irish priest, you see.
Did they give you a few tips for caddying, did you?
Oh, they were very good.
Did you have fees for it or just tips?
Oh, you got paid.
Yeah.
Some would give you half a crown, some would give you a shilling. All depends. There was no mixed fees. What they fancy to give you. They were very good, the Irish police.
Yeah.
Very good. Because they'd come at 1 o'clock. And you got one of them, once you got out on the golf course, they were backing your caddy against my caddy.
All right.
You know, and they said, right, oh, they'd have a bet. Here, our caddy. And then, when there was a blind hole, I always remembered on Port Anne, a blind hole, the 11th. And the caddies that weren't out, they'd get over the wall at this blind hole. And if the priest or any of the player made a good shot, and you got anywhere near the green, they'd be over the wall, put the ball in the hole, and back over the wall again. When they got up, they couldn't find the ball. And of course, priest was delighted, hole in one. Well, they got everything for that, you see. Right. You got Macintoshes, overall shoes, you got everything then. And the ball mounted on a little cup.
Really?
In them days.
Did they?
Oh, aye.
Yeah,
but it got that much of a fake. It stopped all that business now.
Right.
Hole in ones now was just a common thing.
Right.
I've had 3.
Have you?
Yeah.
3 holes in one, right. Yeah.
But you don't get anything for them, like. You get your name on the board.
Yeah. Now, this business of being a greenkeeper, I mean, you were too young to be a greenkeeper up there, weren't you?
Well, not really. You had to do something to work.
Yeah.
You left school. Them days you had to work.
What was it like keeping greens up in the Fort Anne?
Well, not bad. It was easy work. You only cut 9 greens in the morning. Your father done the other 9.
Oh, he was there as well, of course.
Oh, he was doing 9. I was doing 9. That was it.
What did you use for cutting?
We had
just the ordinary lawnmower?
Pennsylvania.
Yeah?
Put hand.
Hand push.
Hand push. Oh, no electric then.
No.
A hand pusher.
Yeah.
And then when it come to November, October, November, you had to lay the greens like, and you just rolled them up and laid the greens back and put the sand on, and then they teach you to shift the holes. We used to shift the holes, you see.
Oh, right.
And you have a golf ball with you, and you put in the player where you thought the best. That was your job. And my father was teaching me that, you see.
Yeah.
Where to put the hole on the green.
Right.
So it wasn't too bad, like. And then you had a box with the shape of the hole cutter. You put that down, shaped that, they took that out and put it in the old hole that you'd already taken out.
Yeah.
And then that was it. And then you went around and done them holes. When they were bad. And the cup used to have to be 2 or 3 inches underneath the hole, otherwise the ball wouldn't go in.
No.
So
no.
That was hard. That was hard going. You had to learn that the best way. But the cutting of the greens was a doddle, like, because it's very easy to put that. You only cut it twice a year.
Is that so?
That was it, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was on your horse.
Right.
Oh, no machinery, just a horse and the three cutters.
Yes.
And a roller, they had a roller on its own.
Yeah.
And a cut roll, and that was it. And then you done the bunkers, roughened the bunkers up and done the cheese and all that, and looked after them, and that was it.
Yes.
That was your job all the time.
And you did that for a few years, did you?
Just a couple.
Yeah.
And then when it rained, you used to go down into the house, into the Haddle Towers, and break sticks.
Break sticks?
I'd get the coal for the house.
Oh, really?
Oh, before going home and feed the hens.
Yes.
You know, when it was a bad day, you couldn't do anything on the golf links. So to shove your time in, you had to go down to his house.
Where was the clubhouse?
The clubhouse?
Yeah.
There was no clubhouse. They were on the road.
There was no.
Two huts on the road.
Oh.
The one for the gents, clubhouse, and one for the women.
Right.
It's only a little bit. It's still there as far as I know,
Yeah.
the wall.
All
And
right.
the clubhouse, where the professionals' house was, the professionals' hut was at the back of the Port Anne Hotel.
Oh, yes.
And Caves, George Cave, he used to do the kittens, Manx cats.
Oh, yes.
And I believe he's chopped the tails off some of them, like, cutting them as Manx cat. But George Caves was well known, everybody knew that.
Right.
Well, you know that, Dave. He lived
heard about it.
he lived in Walpole Avenue,
Yeah.
George Cave.
Right.
Well known for the Manx cats.
Yeah.
And
There was an old building up on the Fort Anne, sort of halfway up the hill there. What was that then?
well, the only one I can make out is the farmhouse, the old farmhouse, David, where the shepherd was. Shepherd,
Hang
it's still
on.
there.
A shepherd?
Shepherd's
You
hut.
wouldn't have a shepherd while you're playing golf, should you?
Oh yes, there was sheep on the course.
Sheep on the course
Oh yes,
while you were playing golf?
oh yes, sheep on all the time.
Really?
Oh aye. Basically, we're getting paid to keep allowing the sheep to graze on the golf course, and it caused a lot of problems, like at times, because when the sheep was stopping his load and the ball got stuck there, and the further he run, the ball dropped out. You had to play it from where it was. Oh, they had up. That's it. There was sheep in Port Rose.
Was there?
Oh yes. I don't know how far back it would be, but there was sheep grazing on Port Rose, and I think, if I remember rightly, it was Stevie Quirk's father that had them on there.
They wouldn't be able to. I mean, you could hit a sheep
Oh, you could
with
hit
a
the
gun.
sheep. Oh, aye.
Knock them out, would you?
Well, you wouldn't knock them out because the skin, you know,
Yeah.
the thing on them. And then they used to get taken for getting dipped, you see. And then they used to get gelded.
Oh, yeah.
And they used to have the dog there getting the stones. Used to stone them, you see. And that was when the lambing season come, the shepherd was out all the time, old Campbell.
Where did they dip sheep up there then?
They made it wreck. Around just about 200 yards from your place.
Yeah.
You know that wall you're talking about?
Mhm.
Well, behind that wall,
Yeah.
they used to put a grate up. They
Right.
used to put the sheep in, come out the other end,
Uh-huh.
and that's where they used to dip them.
Yes.
Oh, aye. And they used to shepherd up there. Campbell was the shepherd.
You can't imagine golfers today playing on a course with
Oh,
sheep.
God, no. But they had to get the money somewhere, you see, for the maintain for the golf course. You can only maintain, you know.
But the members have to pay membership fees, wouldn't they?
Oh, aye, but they're not compared to what they pay across.
No.
You see, the people, the Douglas have been claiming for years and years about subsidising the Douglas Golf Club, the
Yes.
golf course.
The ratepayers,
The
yeah.
ratepayers of
Yeah.
Douglas have been complaining all the time. But they were saying, but they weren't getting subsidised at all. They were paying their way, lately they were paying their way,
Yeah.
but they were in a bad way at the start because they couldn't afford to pay. It had to be subsidised by the corporation.
A reminder that you're listening to Time to Remember on Manx Radio with David Cullister, and I'm talking to Nobby Clarke from Annika, whose happiest times were spent on the golf course. Well, when the Douglas Golf Club started, then you told me it wasn't at Fort Anne at all. It was down at Portachee.
Douglas Golf Club started at Portachee.
Mm-hmm.
Then it went from Portachee to Fort Anne. Then from Fort Anne it went down to Douglas Golf Club in Pull Rose. And the golf club opened 1928. Pull Rose Golf Course opened 1928. But Douglas Golf Club did not move down there to amalgamate from Port Anne till between 30s and 40s.
Right, right.
I give the date to the golf club, like
When did you become a member of Douglas Golf Club?
1934,
So 70 years.
when Henry Cotton won the Open
Yeah.
at Sandwich,
Yeah.
283 done, and then he won it again in 1937.
Yeah.
He won it again.
You are now the senior member of Douglas Golf Club.
The oldest member
Yes.
and the longest member, I think,
Yes.
in Douglas Golf Club,
Right.
and I've enjoyed every minute of my golf.
How many members has it sustained over these generally?
It's creeping up all the time now.
Yes.
The young members coming in by the score because Vipon, who I've not known very long now, has made a very, very big improvement.
Right.
Very, very big improvement.
What was it like when you first joined then? Just a handful of fellas? Or?
Oh, it was toppy nose when I joined.
Toffee nose?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
They wouldn't play with you, like, you know, and you're getting beaten.
Really?
And, and all this, that and the other. And you could sit down there for an hour or so and not get a match.
They'd all be businessmen and so on.
Oh, Tommy Kewen has had his shop where Colburn's is and all that. Now, on a Sunday, if you were playing with him and his partners, he brought a case of beer up.
Yeah.
And when you got a Battle of B, you see, that's why I like to play with him on a Sunday, you see,
Right.
because you got a Battle of B, because no beer, there was no drinks on a Sunday,
Of course.
and that was it.
Yeah.
And they were very, very, they were cliquish, like, you know what I mean? They wouldn't do anything. There was no pushing them.
Right.
Which all this business that Nike is doing now, Mike Van Pond, the pro, it's a pretty big improvement in the golf course.
Right.
They should have done that 40, 50 years ago. But they hadn't no gumption to do that. We should have been in the Manor. The Manor should have been our clubhouse. Been ideal. Play from the Manor down to the 18th hole, as it is now, and then play the first would be the second hole. And you finish on the 17th and walk up into the Manor. It'd been lovely.
Yes, well,
Podmore was in the Manor. He was travelling for cheese. Cheese fellow he was travelling for them. And he was in the Manor. There was a doctor in the Manor. Long before Alfie Duggan went in.
Yeah.
And there was locker room was downstairs. Bags room downstairs. But we weren't in there very long. We moved down, we built a bit of a shed down in the where it is now.
Yeah.
It's been improved, like. And they built a bit of a shed there, and that was it. And then when they started the golf course, Joey Devereux, he come back from Ireland, and he got the pros job at Pros, and it went from family to family then. Billy Devereux, John Devereux. John Devereux was a greenkeeper down there. All the Devereux worked on the golf course, every one of them.
Yeah. You must have played all the courses on the Isle of Man in your time, have you?
Well, I played every one but Portrait Mary.
Oh.
Never got to Portrait Mary.
Too far away?
Well, not really. But nobody's shit you down. And it's 9 holes. You had to go down twice.
Yes.
And that's the only one I never played on. Played on all the others. And I love Ramsey. Lovely and flat.
Yes.
But Paul Rose, you see, it gets too heavy for... Once you all get over 60 or 70 at Paul Rose, you start to dip away to the flat ones, like. Or they got to get a buggy.
These snobby fellas that you were talking about earlier, then, were they playing with... Where did they get the golf clubs? Did they buy them? Did they come from across? Was anybody here selling clubs? Was there? Where do you bought your first clubs from?
Mine? My first clubs were given to me by Cyril Barker.
Oh, yeah.
He had an Etterpole.
All right.
That's how I got mine.
Yeah.
They were Heinz variety.
That's right.
Heinz variety, but also never had a new club in my life.
Didn't you?
Didn't know what I couldn't afford it.
No.
Couldn't afford to go on the championship at one time till it was paid for me by Henry Charlie's mother. She paid for me to go in. They wouldn't lend you any money for to go in.
No.
They were flaking it, you wouldn't get it back. You're only poor fellas, like, you know. And you couldn't. But as I say, I never had a new golf club in my life.
You were telling me that clubs were made here on the Isle of Man.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were made at the clubhouse. Bill Griffiths, when he come from Peel, the club come in a block.
Right.
And you smooth the head down with a piece of glass.
Yeah.
And you got it shaped to a driver and the brassy and the spoon. And then you weighted it with the chisel the back a little bit, put a couple of screws in, a little bit of lead for what the player wanted to shoot his weight.
Right.
And then he made it want it on the base of the golf club. He drilled a hole and put it with a bracing bit and a little screw in there, lead again, a couple of ounces or an ounce, whatever he wanted. And they were hickory shafts.
Hickory shafts.
The hickory shafts come, you see, and you put it into the club head, glued it, and then put a little screw at the bottom, and that was it. And then you put the grip on and attach an end, attach it all up, and that was your club made, you see.
So they were sold at the clubhouse?
They were sold at the clubhouse, you see.
Yeah.
Then, but they would come and made, but they did, at this day and age, they come and made. You don't make them now.
No.
They come, because you had, in those days, they used to play what they call Stanley's too, which is never played now, Stanley.
What's that then?
The Stanley was, the card, I think as far as I know, is 6 inches. And that ball was 6 inches from the in. It was a Stanley. And you weren't allowed to move the ball.
Really?
So you had to play it.
Yeah.
So I carried for the last time it was won by a Stanley, and that was Walter Kennedy and Morris Forrest. And they played at Peel. And I can remember that to this day. They were playing the 17th. And we got down on the 17th, and they both played short of the green on the right. Morris played, Kennedy played, and Morris played, and he hit him. And he was stymied, you see. So what he'd do is, he had to either hit the ball and knock it away as far as he could, You could do it then, you see.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, you mark your ball. Mark it, you see. You've seen on the telly.
Yeah, sure.
You mark your ball. But now and then there's Steinies. That's what the card is 6 inches for, I think. Anyhow, he hit the ball, knocked him in, started himself. So he's buggered then. He played 3,
Yeah,
and Thing had only played 2.
right.
Morris played 2, and Kennedy had played 2. Now when Morris come to play, he was first to play, and he tried to knock Kennedy away. But anyway, he signed himself, and he had that shot to go, and you had a chip over, you know. Imagine today, any of these golfers taking
Trying to chip over.
chipping over the hole 6 inches away and trying to put it in the hole. There'd be no green left.
No.
So all that was about. I think that stopped in 1934.
So you've seen quite a few changes then with golf.
Oh yes,
haven't you?
definitely. Lots of changes, both in golf clubs and golf balls.
Yes.
The golf balls are going further, they're lasting longer,
Yeah.
and the golf clubs are getting the ball further for the lads. They're hitting the ball tremendous now, these young fellas. And there's that many people playing it, that it's getting that competitive. You see, when I joined, you could pick the 16 members to qualify for the next championship.
Yeah.
But now, you have no chance. There's that many playing now that you can't guarantee to pick 8 to qualify.
No.
But in them days, you can name the 16 to qualify.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, was it a rich man's sport then?
oh yes, definitely. Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't afford golf clubs, you see.
Yes.
But that's why the municipal, that's the only place you could play municipal. If you went where else to play, you had to pay through the nose, you see.
Mm.
And it's very, very cheap. You've got to have a municipal golf course, you see. That's why Douglas Golf Club at the moment is very, very reasonable and more improved. And the way next year, more than likely, it'll be back to normal.
Right. There's no clash then between the non-club members and the rest, is it?
No, no snobbiness at all. But in them days, they were clicky like, you know. They didn't want to be beaten.
But you lived in a time of class, didn't you?
Class,
really?
it was class then.
Yeah.
Oh, it was all class, posh then. Lawyers and doctors and Dr. Jowett, good player.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't play with you. Didn't want to play with you, see. Didn't want to get beaten. Dr. Groves and all these.
Tommy Clarke, or Nobby mustn't beat us. That was it.
That's the trouble. They didn't want you to be beaten, you see. And another thing was, you see, when they were waiting there, when the 4 of them would come up and they were, I'm waiting for the captain. And you'd been standing there for an hour with your ball in the top, or a half an hour or so, and you'd come up, you'd have a game, I'm waiting for the pro, I'm waiting for the captain. Another fellow would come up, are you ready to go? No, I'm waiting for the captain. So I got a gate of the pro, Billy Deverill, and I said, it's time this was stopped, like, you know. They're coming up and they're picking there. And they were doing that regular, playing with the same ones. And as I say, I'm not blaming them for it, but the rulings of golf now, I'm sure that half of them don't know the rules of golf. But the scores that's coming, you see now, very, very low, some of them. And it seems impossible for them to do it, but they're doing it. And the rules are changing all the time.
Right.
When I was refereeing, the them rules don't count now. They've all changed.
Right.
I
Yeah.
refereed a few tournaments and got a rollicking for it because you've done the wrong thing. What's the referee do in a golf match? Does he tell them that he made an infringement, or does he wait for the player? Well, as far as I know now, he waits for the player.
Yeah.
But when I was doing it, you see, I was waiting for the player, but he didn't tell me. And then once or twice, made a mistake. And when I went out, I used to have a piece of string, and you had to have a watch. I went to a referee one match, and the first thing Bill Lodger said to me, "Have you got a watch?" I said, "No." I buggered off, you're not like the referee. How do you know I'm going to be 5 minutes waiting to look for the golf ball? He was right.
Really?
How are you 5 minutes looking for the golf ball?
Of course, yeah.
You're not carrying a referee in this match. And that was that.
Yeah.
Somebody else had to do it, you see.
Right.
But I've been out watching some of them, and I've seen the infringements done, and they've never been pulled up, you see. Now, the ruling is you've got to wait for the player. Because if I'm playing you, and you don't know the rules, and I make an infringement,
I don't know the infringement.
you don't know the infringement, that's it. That's the end of that.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I'm quite happy to go down there and have me few hookers and sit at the bar
And talk about it, isn't it?
Talk about it, chat to the old boys. There's lots of the old boys still playing, like, you know.
Yeah.
But they get my age on, do some of them, and they won't be able to play, like you see, and they'd be the same.
Well, let's talk now about what you did when you weren't playing golf. Then you'd be at work somewhere, wouldn't you?
I worked in Noble's Hospital for 18 years.
Noble's Hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worked at Ballamona.
Mm.
I was up there for quite a while. I worked on the electricity board and the highway board,
Yeah.
digging holes when they would change the water from the reservoir down to Clanna.
Yeah.
Very snow and ice and everything.
Right.
Snowed out, people were there digging them out of the houses.
Mm.
That was about the last snow, a lot biggest snow I think we had then.
Yeah.
And it was terrible.
90-year-old Nobby Clarke. Naturally, he had a party to celebrate his 90th birthday on the 10th of October 2004, and at the party they persuaded him to sing a song. It's one which became popular during the First World War, and Nobby told me he was very fond of it.
There's a long, long trail a-winding onto the land of my dreams, where the nightingales are singing and the pale moon beams. There's a long, long